Hello, welcome. My name is John McConnin. I'm an attorney and a broker, and welcome to part two of the 7-day home selling method. It's at winnerscheck.org, and we are going to go right into it. Now, this I've already got a few other videos on the net where I'm talking about the way Redfin does it, the way HomeBay does it, the way Rex does it, the different ways you can do it on Zillow, the way Realtor.com would do it, the way full service would do it, and discount. Although I didn't get to full service and discount, I will eventually, but those are almost self-explanatory after you've listened to the other ones. So in this video, I'm going to go pull those back into the course in their 7-day home sell method. I'm always going to be revising those, but I first felt like I needed to give an overall concept. So for people who aren't familiar with the industry, so we get it all straightened out. Okay, so I have in the back of the course here, let's see if I can pull it up. I have given the outline. Now I haven't done all these videos yet, but let me take this down. And this course is free right now. And I talk about when you're selling your home, you can have 0 agents, 1 agent, or 2 agents. We'll talk about the compensation in a minute. Then there's full service. Then there's limited service brokers. There's for sale by owner with assist. And there's do-it-yourself. That to me, when I was trying to find some structure, those are the categories. That's how I broke it down. There may be better ways, and maybe I will do that over time. But let's just first talk about the commissions, and then we'll go down. Traditionally, I'm going to come back. We might as well just come back to me now. Traditionally, you would have a listing agent and a selling agent. And back before the 80s, maybe the 90s, they both worked for the seller. I know that's hard to believe, but the agency went, the listing agent is contacted by the seller, they contact the seller agrees to list their property for 5%, 6%, sometimes 7%. And then the agents were like, I'd like to sell the home. I'd love to enlist the help of the agents in my office. Well, then they just keep the money in-house. I'd love to enlist the help of the agents at the realtor board. And they bring it there, and then they say, hey, we're selling this home. If you've got a buyer, prices start here. And then they bring it down, and then some buyer would say, hey, I've got someone interested in that price. Let's see if they can come together, negotiate a price. By the way, what's my compensation for doing this work? And they'd say, well, the listing agent's paying the seller's paying 6, and we'll share our commission with you. So 3 for you as a selling agent, 3 for me as a listing agent, or however it was negotiated. Then the MLS came around. Eventually, buyer's agency came around. So now most of the time it's listing agent agreeing to offer compensation through the MLS. So they're sort of making a contract that we will share our commission with you, but you can still be an agency with the buyer. That's a pretty good way to look at the market in most parts of the country. Although I know, because at one point I went to Florida to be a real estate investor, and I sat for the real estate exam, and I sold some houses there. They have transaction brokers. They don't believe in that theory that you can represent as an agent 2 people, a buyer and a seller at the same time. The lawyer in me tends to agree with that concept. So they said, we're gonna take this down to the fact where you're someone facilitating the transactions, and you have a duty not to reveal the buyer's information and the seller's information, that pricing information, that negotiating information, and those things. But you do have a duty to disclose really any material information that you're aware of. And I thought it was a good breakdown, although it's a hard thing to sell. I'm a transaction broker now. It's not the easiest thing for listing agents to do, but it was probably better. But anyway, so now with that understanding, when you go to list your home, some of your commission will be going to the listing agent, some will be going to the buyer's agent in most circumstances. I'd like to suggest to you that those days are over and they're ending quickly. I was helping my sister with this 2 weeks ago. She's been talking to agents. Some agents are saying, well, we're not worried about paying the buyer's agent because we're going to beat the model. We're going to beat that Rex model, or we're going to beat the Redfin model. So for instance, I discussed this in the other videos. Redfin says, 1.5% to the listing agent, but we want you to pay 2.5% or 3%, probably depending on your area, to the buyer's agent. So that's a 4.5%, we'll call that for California. But it varies. So 6% for full service, sometimes 7 in Florida for like Sarasota, Bradenton area, top 8. At least while I was there, they were still getting 7 for a lot of the top end brokers. Sometimes it would go down to 4 or 5 though. Now, Redfin might be at 4.5. If you go to Zillow and they give you an agent, the agent's going to want to get paid and offer the real estate, the buyer's agent money. So it's probably 5 or 6%. I wrote Home Bay. I get Home Bay and I get some of the other ones. Rex is 2%. They don't pay the buyer's agent. I really like that as the first part. For instance, if I were you, the method I would use is like the Rex idea to begin. Give it a week or two using our 7-day home selling method, or work with an agent that's willing to do it, and then go to the MLS model and go over to the Redfin model. Try to get that 1.5% for the listing agent, 2 or 3 to the buyer's agent. If you're going on the MLS, you've got 2 choices, in my opinion. I'm jumping all over. I'm sorry. Either pay the buyer's agents at least the normal amount or more, or pay them almost nothing, like $100. But paying them low, that doesn't make sense because they're not going to show you a home anyway. So you're just using the MLS for the fact that broadcast your message all over, which is a great thing to do. But you're not really going to get a lot of buyer's agents come in to sell your home. So if you want buyer's agents to bring buyers to get a high price for your home, really pay them to do it. So anyway, that's 0, 1, or 2 agents. The different models, they're now discount models. I mean, they say they're full service. They're not really, most of them. That's what you need to do. You need to find out about. Okay, so that's the next section: full service versus limited service. There's full service lower fee, and there's limited service. If you're thinking of working with people that aren't full service, really anybody, you need to get their marketing plans. Period. The market's so there's a word. It's not confused. That's not the word. It's separated. It's blown apart. It's fragmented. The market's so fragmented, and the methods are so fragmented. You need to know exactly what your agent's going to be doing for their money. Are they going to be doing open houses? Are you going to be on the MLS, and how much are you being compensated? Are they being compensated? Are they going to help you with the negotiations? Are they going to work with buyers for the fee they're paying? Are they going to charge you more? Basically, I'm going to provide a checklist in the training that we do when we get to the live training, so that you can compare all the models. Now, once you get an idea of which model you want to go with, I think, as we talked in the pricing earlier, you can start reviewing your net. So, for instance, if you're working with a full service agent who's offering 6%, you know your net's going to be like 7-ish, a little more, between 7 and 8%, probably less than what your selling price is. If you're working with a Redfin, it's going to be 4.5 plus 1.5. I mean, there's frequently closing costs. So, I mean, there are. I don't know how you get around escrow and title fees in California anyway. So you're going to have escrow and title fees. Sometimes you're going to have pro rata taxes. Sometimes your community's going to have HOA docs. So you're looking at 1, and it's frequently higher than 1 to 1.5% in closing costs plus real estate agent fees. Now, within that context, let's work down. You can avoid all those fees by doing this yourself as an owner, but you're still gonna have to, like, there's work, like when before I started doing it myself, because I didn't like what was happening, I used to pay $450, $500 for a transaction coordinator to make sure all the documents were signed. You're going to want to go over your disclosures. You're going to want to make sure you've disclosed everything to the buyer, so that when that deal closes in escrow, you can sleep at night. You don't have to worry about the buyer coming back and suing you because you didn't disclose something properly. Or, I mean, as long as you disclose all the material facts you're aware of, you should be good. Now, that's a general statement. Of course, if you're concerned about it, I'm an attorney and you should be talking to me or some other attorney, because realtors aren't really supposed to be talking to you about your disclosures if your disclosures are complicated. They can say, do your disclosures, and this is what this means. But if you're worrying about things, you should be talking to an attorney. because what your main goal is, you want to disclose so that you're done. So that the idea is you've sold your home, everything's tied up, title's giving those people the warranty. So like even if you didn't have proper title, they can't come back to you because title's taking care of that. So your big issue when you're selling your home is to make sure your disclosures are happening. So if you're for sale by owner, make sure you get your disclosures done so that you can rest. That's why I would recommend for sale by owner. Do it yourself. Do it assisted for sale by owner, or I'd say full service but lower fees. Right? I mean, that's really what it is. Are you doing the work, or full service with lower fees? Because those limited assist and flat fee places they're smart. They say this is all we're doing, so they put you on the MLS and they field an offer. Well, now what are you going to do with the offer? Do you have the paperwork to do the counter? Do you know how to do the counter? Are you going to do the counter? If you talk to the buyer's agent, he's going to ask you if you want to pay him to help or her to help you. So you need to, I think at some point, so not only do you want all the agents and all the businesses to give you their marketing plan, you also want to know what's missing from their plans, right? And then, so when you get all that down, then finally, I think you're ready to put it together like this. Your pre-MLS preparation and marketing, and then you would have an offer acceptance period. I believe the way to do it is to have two. Have your pre-MLS offer acceptance period and your post-MLS offer acceptance period. And that, the beauty of this method is that instead of being rushed, as soon as an offer comes in, you got to respond or deal with them. You're saying, look, we've already got an offer, but we told people we weren't going to make any final determinations until they had a chance to see the home. They're coming in during the weekend, and we're going to be reviewing our offer Sunday night, and we're going to get back to the strongest offer. And in the method further, I get into it in more detail, but you really have a choice. You can do it the standard realtor way, the way I once did it after being a FSBO, and my realtor actually said, hey, we've got 5 offers in. We're working with you 3. What's the best offer? And then, he and it was a team, he and she, they were married, made sure that the buyers were comfortable and understood the process and the transparency of it. I prefer the idea of picking your strongest person or 2, keeping them on the side, letting the other ones buy in an auction, and then giving that person the chance to beat it if you want, or working with them some other way. We'll go more into detail in the training and in other videos. But anyway, that's what happens before the MLS. So you can say, look, here's the starting price. It's not a listed price. It's not a bid. It's significantly lower. It's a starting price. You'll have an opportunity to make offers. We'll get back to everybody for a round robin bidding on Sunday night. The winning bidder has a chance to negotiate with us exclusively, so we can go to contract on MLS forms, and if we agree to terms, we'll open up escrow on Monday or Tuesday. If that doesn't work, we're going to go to the second or the third buyer. And that way, if you don't like the terms, you don't have to accept them. And then you take a look, see what happened. All that marketing is great for your home. It brings your property awareness to your property. You tell people, hey, we're going to go on the MLS for more than this. We're going to go at full value or more, but there's an opportunity to come in and get a deal or get this home. If that doesn't work, you can do the same thing the next week on the MLS. Your agent can pay the buyer's agents, offer compensation to buyer's agents, try to find the agents for themselves, accept offers for a week. Make sure your agent knows every offer you have to see every offer. It has to be coming. You just encourage people to make offers. They don't have to say, no, we got to start. Just say, I want every offer to come in. I don't want you to turn down any. And just say, hey, we've got good prices. We've got reasonable prices, but we're looking for strong buyers, and we're flexible, so we want to see all the offers come in. Just encourage the offers to come in. Again, look at them after the big open house. This time it's not a big offer weekend, a big multiple offer weekend. It's just a big open house. You look at them all. You tell everyone, we'll get back to everyone, and you do the same thing, only you use the realtor's favorite way of doing it. Because that's the way they can represent it best. They can talk to the buyers. But again, it's absolutely vital you work with a great representative. That's the weakness of these other methods. We're going to go into them one by one. But the weakness is working with almost everyone and shooting to get you multiple offers. 66% of the homes in California got multiple offers last year. The weakness is the method, and that's having a listing price wrongly setting expectations, and the realtor and their negotiations most times. You need someone who everyone knows is competent, is telling them the truth, is transparent, it represents your sale well. And when they say something, the buyers are comfortable going back to them and saying, this is the way it's going to be. This guy knows what he's doing. I realize we're in multiple offers, but if you do this, we're going to have a good chance, or it's going to be fair, right? So your representative, or you, is vital. And that's the weakness of when you're just submitting your form and saying, I'd like to go in at 1% or 2% or 4.5% or whatever they're saying. You don't know how competent your agent is. And, you need an agent. And even then, like normally I used to say, you need an agent who sold 50 homes. Well, all these people I've heard this now. All these people are on teams. They say, well, we've sold 50 homes, but they're only been doing it for 2 years. They're only agents for 2 years. They haven't seen it. They don't know up and down markets. They've been on a team. It's very much different. So if you get an agent who on their own has sold 50 homes and they're willing to work with you, and they're willing to adopt this method of having a 5 to 10 day offer acceptance period and then offer negotiations on Sunday evening, then you're talking. Then you're starting to feel like, you've got a good model. Now, if you'd like, first of all, Mike, this course and the training is free. This is the second week of the training. We're going to have a Q&A every week starting next week after 4th of July. Hey, if this goes on, this is 4th of July. That's 2019. Now, the course is always going to be updated and the videos are going to be updated, but maybe you'll see this on YouTube someday. There'll be an opportunity to ask questions, and we will also give you an opportunity where if you want to work with pretty much any listing agent, we will refer your property. We'll discuss the methods that you and I have already discussed during our strategy session, see if the agents will work with you, and we will seek a referral fee from that agent, and we'll share the referral fee. And referral fees can frequently be, to a listing agent, can frequently be one, let's say the listing fee is 3%, it can be 1% up to 50% of the 50%. 1% is easy. We get it. I never had a listing agent turn down. When I brought people over that were already prepared, anywhere in the country, I've always been able to get a referral fee of at least 1% from a full service agent. So, let's say you were to get 50%, well, then we're doing better than just about any of those models. And especially if your agent, I wouldn't expect them to work for 50% of the fee and represent a buyer's agent if they do pre-MLS. So it's probably more going to be like 3-4% range. But it's really tremendous because you're going to have the benefit of our training. You have me on your team to bounce questions off of. You'll have, if there's ever an escrow or a title problem, I can write letters to help you move things along, and it happens. So we're offering an opportunity to put me on your team and save real estate commissions and it could be a relative. It could be the best listing agent in your area. It could be anybody. We'll refer it to them, put them on your team anywhere in the country. If it's other states, I can't give you legal advice there. But I can give you multiple offer strategies. I can give you other types of general real estate advice. So thanks. I hope you enjoyed part 2. Or eventually we'll also be just go to winnerscheck.org for now. There'll be other offers. Maybe you'll see below this if you're on YouTube. But go to winnerscheck.org. For now, the course is the 7-day home sale method. It's free. After we get a lot of training in there, I might move it up in price, but right now it's free. And all we ask there is that you answer the question, what is your biggest